Welcome to this segment on the construction of the X4MR250 Racing Quad. In this particular segment, we're going to show you the different parts that make up the airframe. And from that, the next several segments will show you the actual construction. Right now, what we have in front of us are the various smaller hardware components that are installed on the airframe. The first set are the legs. All they are number 6 screws and rubber boots that insert into the holes of the arms. We have 4 sets, 4 arms, 4 holes. We have motor screws. These motor screws you may need, maybe not, depending upon your motor. They're sized so that they will fit through the bottom, through the laminated material, and catch the main frame of your motor just right so it does not interfere with the motor operation. There'll be 16 screws coming with your kit. Your motor may already be supplied with sufficient screws for you, but these will come anyway. We have Velcro. That Velcro is sufficiently long so that you can make up the battery straps, which go into the slots of the X4MR, and also can be used to hold down your cameras or any other accessory equipment. It just needs to be cut to your desired shape and size, and you'll have it from there. The next set of hardware are the power distribution and controller standoffs. Very simply, these are nylon standoffs. They'll consist of a small screw, the standoff, and a nut, and those are inserted from the bottom of the main frame through the main frame and fastened down, and they will very nicely hold the power distribution board and or controller if you decide you want to set it up with a second level. You have 2 options, and we'll show you that in one of the later videos on where you can mount them, just so you can adjust center of gravity and other pretty neat features that could be associated with your locations. We have LED boards that are also included with your kit. The LEDs will mount underneath the main frame to the already pre-wired locations, both in the rear and in the front. They will be attached with the double back tape that we've supplied, or you may use your own. We found this particular tape is a great insulation barrier and is extremely tacky and will definitely hold your components on without fail. We have the power distribution board that's going to be included with the kit. That power distribution board with its 30.5 millimeter spacing center to center on the holes, that will fit very nicely on the locations for the standoffs that are pre-sized to fit. We have the knurled nuts. These nuts, there will be 14 as a minimum included with your kit, and they are just to attach the long aluminum frame rods that mount through the body. They're very, very easy to use. You don't need any tools, and they're just simply hand tightened across the frame to adjust the tension so that you have a very rigid assembly. In addition, what you've seen here is the carbon fiber frame standoffs that are included, and they very simply mount between the frame components and again act to make this an extremely rigid frame. These carbon fiber rods will set through the main body and rest on the bottom of the bottom plate of the main body. And what that does is give you an extremely rigid and firm structure. We are including an angle gauge, and very simple. That angle gauge here is just used and placed between the crotch of the arms to measure the angle of the arm with respect to the body. And we do that because periodically you may need to adjust the arms because they're designed to rotate to absorb shock on a crash, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in another segment. We have aluminum spacers, 2 different size aluminum spacers. We have 7 millimeter spacers, we have 5 millimeter spacers. The 7 millimeter spacers, 2 of them are applied in this area, and they give you a total of 14 millimeters between the bottom speed control plate and the main frame. And then we have 5 millimeter spacers. Each one of those would be placed on the bottom of the arms just to give the parallel orientation of that bottom plate. You'll notice that on the bottom of each one of these arms we have threaded cone standoffs. These are threaded cones. They're not simply spacers, and they thread to the aluminum rods that are placed through the assembly. And by tightening up on the knurled nut at the top of these rear arms, you get the tension required to hold the arm in place. Likewise, on this arm, these are the front arms now, you also have that knurled cone, the cone spacer that fits underneath here so that you can adjust the tension by screwing in this stainless steel threaded screw, which looks just like this when it's out. And we have an aluminum washer that's recessed to accept the head that goes over here, and that spreads out the pressure on the top of the plate so that you can get the proper tension. So in addition to all this hardware, you obviously are going to get all of the carbon fiber pieces pre-laminated. We'll show you in another segment what that consists of, and then we'll assemble a complete airframe during the next couple of segments. It's easy, and it's fun, and it is fast.